Welcome to the second part of our reading lessons. We looked at the first 7 questions in a previous video, which is reading part 1. So basically with this page just kind of refreshes us on the introduction of the previous video. So the reading exam consists of purely medical texts, which is where it differs from IELTS, but the same skills are used. So this is just kind of reminding you of the skills that you will be using during this part of the test. So we looked at the first part of A in the previous video. Now we're going to move on to the second section of part A. In the next part of A, you will be relying on your scanning and detailed reading skills to locate answers in the 4 texts. Questions 8 to 14 are questions in which you have to write or fill in words or short phrases to the answers. Again, keywords will be your biggest ally. So the procedure for these questions, really, there is only one method you can use, because you have to locate keywords, and the way that you locate keywords has to be by reading the questions, because you read the questions, you pick out the keywords, then you read the text and look for those keywords or the same meaning, whether it's paraphrased or synonyms, etc. You know what you're looking for. So you cannot read the text if you do not know what the keywords are. So you need to read the questions, mark the keywords from the questions, and then search through the texts. That is my advice to approach it. You can read the text first, but if you read the texts, you don't know what keywords you're going to know. The text, there's 4 texts, so you could spend a long time reading, but you don't really know what you're looking for. So look at the questions first. Okay, for this section you will have already noted the topic of each of the 4 texts, because it's the same text that you did questions 1 to 7 for, so you're reading the same information again, so you will be familiar with some of it. So therefore the keywords in the questions will be connected to the vocabulary in one of the texts for each question. So now we're going to walk you through the format and some examples. So first we read the instructions, always do that first. Then look at the questions. Here I've highlighted the keywords, my keywords. Yours may be different, but I've highlighted the things that I think are the keywords. So we have 8 questions. So on here I've marked the keywords in red. So these are the things that I would expect to notice, or notice similar things in the text. This is what I would be looking for. If you look at the other words, they're just very simple verbs. Okay, maybe a patient, but you don't really need to highlight the word patient, because it's a medical text and it's all about patients. So you don't need to keyword the obvious. Again, should be used. Should be. Again, patient. I've missed it because it's about patients. And again, patient. But if you notice, the words that are not keywords are just conjunctions, verbs, question words, etc. Okay, so we look at these and we mark them. Spend a little bit of time doing this. Okay, so for our first example we're going to do question 8. So the question is, what is used to elevate a patient's fractured leg? Keywords: what, elevate, fractured words. What can also be used to determine the type of answer, because if we say what, it's going to be something. If we say who, it's going to be someone, where, some place, when, a time. So the keyword is also important because it tells you that you're looking for something, an object or a thing. Okay, now referring to the texts, we know that two of the texts are about management of fractures. Looking at both B and D, we can see that text D does not specifically refer to either arm or leg. And as we know, our keyword is leg. Looking at text B, we can see that in the management section, we can see the text elevate and we can see the text limb. So we've got our word there, elevate. A limb is a leg or an arm. So that's what we're looking for. And it also says a sling for arm injuries, a pillow for leg injuries. So we're looking for leg injuries. So the answer is pillow, but we have to make sure that we know how we're finding it, because I've done this exercise, obviously I've prepared it, so I know the answers. So you have to walk your way through it. This is your practice. This is how you learn the techniques. So the text shows elevate, limb and leg. So the answer will be a pillow, pillow or pillows. Now there's flexibility in these answers, so someone will actually be marking these because you've got different choices. If it's multiple choice, then it will just be marked automatically because there will only be one choice. But here, where you've got different word possibilities, and they give you more flexibility, because if you say pillow and the answer is a pillow, it would be unfair to be marked wrong, so they give you flexibility. Okay, so this is the kind of skill you'll be working at. So let's do another one. Question 9. What is the maximum dose of morphine of a patient's weight? So we've got maximum dose, important. Morphine, important. Weight, given, so that's administered. And then intramuscular route. So this is kind of a specific terminology. So you're probably unlikely to find this paraphrased, because it's very difficult to paraphrase something like this. And even morphine per kilo, it's difficult to paraphrase. The other things could be paraphrased, but these two, very difficult. So we look. The first thing we have is morphine, because remember, this is the drug chart. This is about the administering of drugs. Route of administration, that gives you a clue. Recommended dosage, that gives you a clue. So, in the question, the keywords are based around the dosage of a drug. So, we know that it is in text C. So we look for this, and we can see morphine. So what is the maximum dose of morphine per kilo? So let's see. Oh, maximum. So we've got a maximum here. We haven't got the word maximum dose per kilo. So here we've got milligrams, but we don't have kilos, so we know it's that one. Here we have kilos and milligrams, so we know it's going to be this one. So the maximum dosage, here it's 0.2. Now I'm not a medical person, but I had to look up the answer because I don't know, not being a medical person, but you should know this. or hopefully you will know this. So we've followed the process. We've done the keywords. We've looked for the ones that are more likely to not be paraphrased, and we've looked for them and found them. Okay. So, points to follow. Read the questions first and note the keywords. You will already have an idea of keywords from doing the first questions in the first video. Think of any synonyms or paraphrased expressions that could be in the text. Make a note of them. Use the information notes you had from the previous section. This should enable you to go to the relevant text that little bit more quickly. If you're unsure of the answer, do a process of elimination. That I showed you in the first video. So what you do is you look at the text all four and say, well, it can't be this one because there's no mention of it, and also it can't be this one. Slowly eliminate the ones that you know cannot be correct until you reach the one that you feel is correct, and then that will be your answer. Okay, use lots of practice material. Practice these skills. If you don't get a correct answer, retrace your steps to try and find out why your answer is incorrect. That is one of the secrets as well. Don't just keep doing test after test after test and think, oh, I've got all these answers correct. Find out why you're getting the ones incorrect, and also why you're getting the ones correct. That will tell you if your technique works. Okay, so that's the end of this lesson, and in the next lesson we're going to look at the final part of reading A, which is questions 15 to 20. There will be a link below for you to download the questions for part A in total, so if you want to download them and practice, please feel free. Also subscribe to our channel to help us make more videos, and also visit our website if you would like to study with us. We are currently offering classes for multiple students, 3 to 1 and 2 to 1, to help you spread the cost of the exam, because we do appreciate that it is quite expensive for some people, so we would like to help you as much as possible. Okay, thank you for your time, and see you in the next video.